Hi, I'm Dave Cuthbertson, one of the directors at AssetGen, and I'm going to show you in this video how our matrix layout module enables you to organize modular fiber systems and also structure information which has come in maybe from spreadsheets or databases, and you want to start understanding and laying things out as quickly as possible to then be able to then show and present information. We'll start with laying out information in a matrix form. Here I have a diagram where I've transferred from a spreadsheet a list of servers and all the data that was associated with them, such as IP addresses, locations, types of devices, statuses, ownership, and it's really up to yourself whatever is in that data when we actually create this. But when we actually transfer this in bulk, as you can see, it just puts it on a page and we have to then organize it to make it more understandable. And so this is where our matrix comes in. I start by selecting all the various components, all the shapes. I go to our utilities and go to matrix layout, and it gives me the option to sort without necessarily using any data. It gives me the option to sort, and so I can sort on shape text or any of the data that's associated that's come from the spreadsheet. I can set a number of columns, so I'm just going to start with let's do 8 columns, and then I can set an interval between them to make it easy to read. So in this case I'm going to set it for 15mm by 30mm, and then you sort, and it's a very quick and easy way, as you can see there, to sort everything, so it's now much more readable, and then I can then process and do any other information on there. If I wanted to sort them by the name, or by the IP address, or ownership, or by which ones are being patched for security, it's very easy. The matrix module will allow us to do that again, but this time I'm now going to sort, and I'll sort by IP address as an example. Sort left to right, top to bottom, keep all the same parameters, and it's now sorted everything. I'll just bring it back into the center there, and if you look closely you'll see that all the IP addresses are now in sequence of all of those devices, to make it easy to then look and see if anything's missing or we've got any inconsistencies within our addressing range. Very simple, very quick, and you can use this in many different ways. I'll now go and do an optical distribution frame where we have a large number of cassettes linking different data centers and halls together. I'm going to start with a blank page, and we're going to bring in a lot of information, and so the easiest way, first of all, especially if you're doing lots of these, is to have some form of background that you can then place all of the optical cassettes on. So this is data center hall A, so let's use an 80 cassette background, starting from the bottom, going upwards. And this gives us a nice template, and it makes it easy if we've got many of these to do. We're doing a project at the moment with over 350 of these, so you can see why we developed this utility. I'm now going to bring in a spreadsheet with a list of all of the cassettes that are in here. So I'm just going to go into the normal data option that you have with Visio, select all of the optical cassettes, and there's all our cassettes on the bottom, and by selecting the cassette on the left hand side I'm just going to scroll down, shift select, and transfer all of those cassettes onto the page. To actually align them all and to get them all in sequence, those with good eyesight might see that actually this is bottom-up naming, so I want to have cassette 80 in that position and 79 similarly. So if we go to our utilities, go to matrix layout, and I'm going to sort now by module name. I'm only going to have one column. I'm going to sort edge to edge so that they all adjoin each other, so there's no spaces between any of them. And the primary direction is going to be from bottom to top, because module number 1 is at the bottom. Do sort, close. So there's all of our modules. I'll now go and position them all, and I'll just do some fine adjustments using the arrow keys so that then I now have them all aligned, and then I can use Visio's data graphics features to then bring out and show lots of different information. So it may be I just want to see where do things go, so what's the function of these cassettes. So some are spare at the moment, others are network connectivity, others out of band management. On the right hand side I put in here the numbers of spare ports that you have, You can see if you go into different cabinets or to different halls, you might have a slightly different view or perspective, which is a much more leveled detail. So which specific switch cards, which specific patch panels, in which racks you're going to. Or we may just want to actually just show what the actual name is. So with all of those different cassettes, we should see the one-to-one match between cassette number 77 at the moment, which currently has no spare ports on it. Just a quick and easy way to lay out optical distribution frames. We'll now move on to some of the smaller optical frames, where actually we had also another requirement to lay out matrices. In this case, I've already got a background that shows various positions for cassettes. The naming convention here is 1 at the bottom, 12 at the top, and then columns A, B, C and D. So we'll just do exactly the same process. We'll choose the type of cassette. We'll bring in from a spreadsheet a list of all the various cassettes. Let's bring in a list of fiber modules. And I'm going to just open up and show that we're going to use the AA panel for the top one. So we'll just scroll down to the last AA there. I will now just drag and drop and transfer all the data on, and then use my matrix layout module to then organize this. So I want to organize by module name. I want 4 columns, and I'm going to have an interval here, and the interval, because I've measured this previously to make sure it works, because everyone's got slight differences. And the primary direction we're going to do is left to right, because we have A, B, C, D, and then from bottom to top. And do sort. And this will have just gone off the page because it depends on where the master shape was. Let's just bring that up. I'll just move this down so it's easy to see. And then, while it's still all selected there, so we've got all of our modules in their positions, and I can just check and confirm that the modules are in the right positions there. I can now look and see where do they go. So we can see that they go off to various rows and particular racks and specific modules there, and also what's their function just at a higher level. We're just going from here from zone A to zone B within the data center. So very quick and easy to lay out, especially if you have lots of these and you need to refresh. And it's a good example of starting with structured data, such as in the AssetGen database, which obviously will do a lot of this for you, and then processing it to make it easy to understand, where you have large amounts of modular information, and it can get very confusing unless you lay things out and create schematics. So I hope that's been useful for you. Try out our matrix layout module. It will work in many different ways with shape data, and you can use it to organize many different things where you want to have a series of columns and rows because of the way you want to present information. To explore more about automated Visio diagramming, we offer online and on-premise training. With our focus on IT systems and infrastructure diagramming, we aim to transfer skills which are beyond books and general Visio functionality. If you wish to move on to full Visio automation, where diagrams are automatically drawn for you on a large scale and are maintained and updated using overnight batch processes, have a look at our AssetGen system, where we cover various technologies from the physical to logical infrastructure for both IT and non-IT systems.